every year at SPIE Photonics West, the staff of Laser Focus World puts together the 2016 Lasers and Photonics Marketplace Seminar. And this year, we have the benefit of a number of different experts in the laser markets and the photonics markets to tell us what the pulse is of the industry today. And I'm here with Allen Nogee. Allen Nogee is the analyst at Strategies Unlimited, and Strategies Unlimited is responsible for compiling the numbers that basically tell us how the laser markets are faring in various industries. And from the seminar, I think we all learned today that the total forecasted laser market in 2016 is around $10.5 billion. And Allen breaks that out into a lot of different segments and types of laser products. But Allen, I was hoping you could just tell us a little bit about some of the major markets that are contributing to that growth and how that growth is responding in terms of this economy, which we all know is in somewhat of a downturn. So how are the laser markets
Well, the laser
faring?
market is composed of many different niches. And so each niche can act entirely different than another niche. The medical market is doing quite well, especially cosmetic lasers. Industrial had a fairly good year considering there were some problems. And China contributed a lot to the industrial laser market by purchasing a lot of these lasers. Some of the other segments were down. There's the typical data storage is down almost always. It's not a good it's not a good market going forward. But so they all kind of balance out. Sometimes some markets go higher, sometimes some markets go lower.
Okay, that's great. And you talked quite a lot in your presentation about some of the markets that are surprising, you know, in the aspect of emerging markets. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those laser lighting and some of those other highlights?
I talked a little bit about using lasers for general lighting, and that's a growing market. Lasers for projection, cinema projection. Growing market. Some of the markets are very small but growing. Some of the markets are bigger but not growing very fast. So it's a blend of what do you want to look at? Do you want to look at emerging markets that are very teeny but growing fast? Or do you want to look at bigger markets that are very substantial but just not growing very large?
Right.
And that's always a question I face. Okay. You know, some of these emerging markets like laser lighting don't exist today, may not exist for 10 years. Okay. Do we want to talk about them or just ignore them until they're becoming a big revenue maker?
Right. Well, I think the audience found those interesting in terms of what, you know, they should be planning for in their various companies.
Right.
And then as far as the economy goes, we are in a downturn economic-wise in the economy, but we have forecasted that we're going to trump that downturn by seeing growth. And what would you say is the main reason for why laser growth is not in line with the general economy?
Well, some laser areas don't necessarily follow the economy. Cosmetic surgery is doing well. You wouldn't think it would be because it's not reimbursed by insurance, but it actually is growing quite fast. Industrial lasers are being driven somewhat by China, somewhat by a transition to fiber lasers. So there's a little artificial boost in there with companies transferring from one type of laser to another because of the transition. But that's, so they don't necessarily follow the economy. They could be up or down independent of the economy. And we see that in a lot of laser areas.
Great. All right. Well, I think a lot of the people will look forward to your report from Strategies Unlimited. And also they can look in the January issue of the magazine for a more detailed report of the laser markets and the numbers associated with those different segments. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.